Welcome in, Ricky's Mailbag. Talk about the Phillies. I want you to subscribe and like down below. Don't forget to do that. We appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm here with Dylan McKinnon. You can catch me, Savannah Kelleher, and Connor Thomas right now on the afternoon show. It's 2 to 6, Monday through Friday, 97.5 The Fanatic, 97.5thefanatic.com, and NBC Sports Philadelphia. Here we go. We take your questions. We answer them. We're ready. Go ahead, Dylan.
Okay, this one's relevant because he's in town this week. If Bryce moved to the outfield, would you be interested in a Rhys Hoskins reunion?
That's kind of a simple question. Yeah, I mean, especially the way Rhys is hitting right now. He's hitting in the 280s. He's starting to hit for some more power again this year, and he's come up big in the clutch for the Brewers here as of late. Now, what kind of signing would it be would be my question. How much do you have to give up for a guy like Rhys Hoskins? That would be the second question. I'm not giving up the farm. No way am I giving up the farm just to get Rhys Hoskins in here, because I seriously believe that that's not the Phillies' biggest problem. I think it's a problem. You put Bryce out there. I guess you could put him into right field, maybe move Castellanos over to left, but you still have a hole in center field. Max Kepler, I don't believe, is an answer completely out there in center field. So the way I look at it, yeah, he's a bat. But is he going to clog it up? And the reason why I say that is then you got Schwarber, who doesn't run well. Then you would have Hoskins, who doesn't run well. I don't know. I think Rhys would love to come back and play, and I think the fan base would definitely enjoy that. I mean, for the most part, I would say yes, but there's always that background stuff that you're not really sure of.
Okay, this next one's from Nick. Are the Phillies falling in that trap again where we are using too much bullpen arms now that if we make it to October, the bullpen will have nothing left for a postseason run?
That's so funny that you asked that, because I'm one of those guys who believes that I have faith in Orion Kerkering. I have faith in Strom, and I have faith in Romano. But for how long? And the reason why I said that is kind of your reasoning. If you're going to use the bullpen in certain ways and they have to go, 3 times in a week, are they going to start getting tired? Is the workload going to start taking them over? And that's the question Rob Thompson, Caleb Cotham have to keep in the back of their minds, that they have to keep these guys fresh. I don't know if you could do that with the way the bullpen is set up right now. I'm a firm believer that they need a couple bullpen arms. And I'm talking back of the bullpen guys. I'm not talking Ruiz and Hernandez and Tanner Banks. Those guys are middle guys. They come in, they fill innings at times. Same thing with Joe Ross. You don't need another one of those. But the whole thing is about stepping up. Has either one of those guys in your mind stepped up that you would send out there in the 7th, 8th inning right now? I know what the answer is. The answer is no. They haven't proven any points. They haven't really taken the ball and gone with it for weeks on end, that they look like they're streaking a little bit. It's just one of those situations where, what you have right now is going to have to settle in and kind of take over the back end of the bullpen until you could find some time, space, and people.
Yeah, this next one's from John. Are the Phillies better off keeping Ranger Suarez, or should they trade him for a bullpen arm?
That may be one of the greatest questions of all time. The reason why I say that is let's take a look at the rotation with Wheeler. You have Wheeler, you have Luzardo, you have Sanchez. Those 3 guys are automatic stays. And when it comes to the playoffs, those guys are going to pitch in the playoffs. Now, who's going to be your 4th guy in the playoff? Is it going to be Andrew Painter? Is it going to be Mick Abel? Is it going to be Ranger Suarez? Is it going to be Aaron Nola? This is strange because it's a good problem to have. Ranger's going to be deleted after the season. I don't think the Phillies are going to re-sign Ranger after the season unless he absolutely forces them into it, which very well could happen the way he's pitching right now, because he's dealing right now. I think the one big question mark is that when the innings start piling up on Ranger, what direction do you go at that given time? Is he going to start faltering like he did after his 10-1 start in 2024? So I have a weird feeling somebody's going to be traded at the trade deadline. It very well could be Ranger. Ranger could be one of those guys, because you have to ask yourself, what's going to get you a take? Ranger's going to be a rental for somebody. So that may get you one reliever for Ranger Suarez, and that's it. You trade a Mick Abel, now you're talking in a different direction. Now you're talking where you might get multiple guys. in a trade for a Mick Abel and another maybe lower end prospect. But I look at this situation as Ranger Suarez is definitely on that block, unless the Phillies just run it through, and unless they have that belief that he's going to be the guy that could kind of step up in the playoffs. We've seen it before, so it's damned if you do, damned if you don't type situation for the Phillies with Ranger.
Okay. Joe asks, any interest in David Robinson?
David Robertson is an interesting situation. He hasn't pitched yet this year. That's what concerns me. Now you think about it, we're going into June here. And when you start going into June, that means he missed all of spring training, all of the first 2 months of the season. What good is he going to do you right now? The answer is he's probably not. Even if he says he's been working out at home, nothing is like getting on that mound and firing pitches and getting that adrenaline rush and kind of having everything come together on the field. I just don't think it's as simple as that. I think obviously if his arm's still in good shape, which the Phillies would definitely check, they would have him come and throw for them and see where his velocity is, see what kind of pitcher he still is. But it's also going to cost a little bit. I mean, he's a veteran. He's been around a long time. He was making upwards of $8 to $10 million a year, in the last couple of years past. So it's going to cost the Phillies a little bit for a guy like that. Would he be one of the guys I would check into, mind you, I'm saying? Yes, I would definitely check into David Robertson. Do I think he's a huge upgrade? You can't tell right now. And the only way you can tell is that when he gets back on the mound. And the bigger problem is, how long is it going to take him to get up to game speed? That's the issue.
Ed wants to know, what is giving you agita when you watch the Phillies?
A little bit of everything at times. You know what? Right now, I think it's still the runners in scoring position. Obviously, the back end of the bullpen has had their hiccups here as of late, so that kind of gives you the heartburn. But when you really think about it, the Phillies, even in the Braves series, left a lot of ducks on the pond. They could have scored a lot more runs. They were 3 for 11 in the last game of the series. I think that could have been, the middle game of the series. That could have been 6 for 11, the way they were swinging the bats. And they're leaving too many guys on base. So that's going to bother me a lot. But, the one thing that you have to understand, the last couple of games they've been without Bryce Harper, which obviously is a little damaging in the sense that he's kind of catapulted this team in the last 3 weeks. He's been swinging the bat real well. He's been a run producer on this team. But I would say definitely the runners in scoring position have become something that kind of bothers me day in, day out.
Okay, and then finally, Gene wants to know, how willing are you to give up top prospects to improve this team this year? Would you give up Crawford, Miller?
It depends on who it's for. There's a lot of things that are thrown out there. I think first and foremost, everybody's heard the thing that Paul Skeens is unhappy with the Pirates management and this and that. Now, if you were to go after like Paul Skeens, you may lose 3 guys. You may lose Crawford. You may lose Miller and Abel. I mean, that's what it's all about, because this guy, I know it's a short term, but he is a guy that's kind of proven in the big leagues already. I mean, sometimes it takes years, sometimes it takes a month. And Paul Skeens is one of those guys that you would say, yeah, I would unload the farm for somebody like that, because the Phillies have money to spend in free agency. So it's kind of like a double standard that they can go out and get guys in the offseason. It's hard to get them in season if you're not willing to part with some prospects. I think Abel is definitely on that trade block. I think he's one of those guys where I think they almost showcased him when he came up and pitched against Skeens in the game against the Pirates. And right there, what you're going to do is it brings on a magnifying glass, is what it really does. Because what big league scouts see is Abel coming up, but is he that guy? So what they're going to do is they send him down to AAA Lehigh Valley, and I will guarantee you the scouts in Lehigh Valley have tripled since Abel came to the big leagues, because they know, other teams know what the Phillies are in need of. Obviously, they're in need of bullpen help. Obviously, they're in need of a center fielder. So just giving away the farm, I'm not that big into just giving it away. What I am big on is giving it away for somebody that's going to help for a few years. You look at a guy like Skeens, and I'm just bringing up his name because he's been limited amount of time at the big league level. But before he gets to free agency, you're talking 3+ years. arbitration, you're talking 3 years. So to me, he's not going to make the big bucks until you get to that point, unless you decide to kind of lowball him and get him a contract when he comes in. But I just look at this as it has to be the right person, the right place, the right time to unload your prospects. And I don't even necessarily think I would unload them all for one player. It would have to be a multiplayer deal. So there you have it, Ricky's mailbag for this week. You could subscribe, like, right down below. Go ahead and check it out. Also, you could catch me, Silvana Kelleher, and Connor Thomas, along with Dylan McKinnon, all on the afternoon show, 2 to 6, Monday through Friday on 97.5 The Fanatic, 97.5thefanatic.com, and NBC Sports Philadelphia. Hey, I want to thank you guys for watching, listening in. I want you to like, subscribe, do what you have to do to kind of stay on focus with us. Also, we also have plenty of other content that goes on here on YouTube. So go to that, like that, subscribe to that. And also you can catch us on the afternoon show, 2 to 6, Monday through Friday, 97.5 The Fanatic, 97.5thefanatic.com, and NBC Sports Philadelphia.